Across the country yesterday, people protested outside of Tesla dealerships. They were protesting the electric car company's billionaire owner Elon Musk's involvement in the Trump administration and his role leading the president's Department of Government Efficiency, the group that has been spearheading massive federal cuts. The protests were not just in the United States. Americans abroad protested Musk's involvement in the government, like these demonstrators in the Spanish capital of Madrid. There were 6 protests here in Metro Atlanta yesterday. We stopped by one outside of a Tesla dealership in Alpharetta, where people held up signs for a Tesla takedown and to boycott Tesla, encouraging people driving by to honk if they agree.
There's no thought to preserving institutional knowledge. It's reckless. They're cutting services that are vital to the American people. Me in particular, I'm very, very concerned about what's happening with Social Security.
President Donald Trump says he's not touching Social Security benefits, but he is cutting about 12% of the agency's workforce and changing policies like requiring in-person identity checks. Vice President J.D. Vance is also at the Vatican today. He met with the Pope and discussed immigration with church leaders. That comes as there are more protests against President Donald Trump and his administration's policies. People gathered at Piedmont Park in Atlanta yesterday and marched to the state capitol. We spoke with one protester who accuses the administration of attacking rights in the United States.
We're not going to allow that, and we're not going to rely on this or that politician of either party to do this for us. We believe that it's people who make change, and working class people, students, we need to unite and we need to fight back.
The protest in Atlanta was one of many hands-off protests held across the country. Demonstrations were held from coast to coast. We spoke with Georgia's Republican Party chairman, who does not believe the demonstrations reflect what people want.
I definitely don't see anything in the polling we're tracking to indicate any big change from where we were in November. We have a president of the United States who is fulfilling his commitment to the American people.
The latest poll from CBS News shows the president's job rating is slowly going down. In February, 53% approved of President Trump, but now 53% disapprove.
Atlanta News First starts now with the First Alert Weather Day.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on what has been a very busy overnight and Sunday morning. This is just some of the damage we are seeing across Atlanta from those storms. We have team coverage this morning in the studio with First Alert meteorologists Courtney Jacobazzi and Rodney Harris, and we have live reports across Metro Atlanta from First Alert meteorologist Cutter Martin and reporter Blake Devine. I'm Chelsea Beinfor. We will start with First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi. Courtney, what can people expect the rest of their Sunday?
Atlanta News First starts now with breaking news.
And that breaking news at 9 is from the Vatican overnight. Pope Francis has died the day after Easter.
Cari fratelli e sorelle, buona Pasqua.
Just yesterday, the Pope gave an Easter blessing to adoring crowds at the Vatican after not being able to actually attend Mass, and now people are gathering at St. Peter's Square to mourn.
It's a moment of a bit of sadness and at the same time thankfulness and celebration of life.
We have team coverage this morning with Atlanta News First Sarah Hammond. She's live in Buckhead. Anchor Rick Fulbaum breaks down the funeral plans and also the selection process for the next Pope.
This past week, the Oklahoma State Superintendent ordered all public schools to use the Bible in lesson plans for grades 5 through 12. The Republicans sent a memo to educators saying it's important for students to understand the Bible in context to the founding of the U.S. Oklahoma social studies standards do list biblical stories, but also include scriptures from religions like Buddhism and Hinduism. Oklahoma state law also says individual school districts have exclusive authority to pick what books are taught.
It is definitely treading on very thin ice when it comes to the idea of religious freedom and the Establishment Clause of the Constitution.
Separation of church and state is not specifically said in the United States Bill of Rights, but used as a metaphor to describe its first clause. That is, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. That's what promises religious freedom in the U.S. Oklahoma is not the only state bringing religion into the classroom. Louisiana's Republican Governor Jeff Landry signed a new law this month requiring the Ten Commandments be displayed in every public school classroom.
right now on Atlanta News First Sunday morning.
We're calling an assassination attempt against our former president, Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, wounded but okay after being struck by a bullet at a rally in Pennsylvania.
When we heard this go off, we thought it was firecrackers at first, and then somebody hollered everybody to the ground.
Federal authorities identifying the suspect overnight.
And that there's going to be a long investigation into exactly what took place and how the individual was able to get access to the location.
This morning, universal condemnation from all sides, 4 months before Election Day.
There's no place in America for this kind of violence.
Atlanta News First starts now with breaking news.
The FBI has identified the man accused of shooting and wounding former President Donald Trump. I'm Megan Packer.
And I'm Rick Fulbaum. Thankfully, the former president is okay. We are glad you're with us at this very difficult time for our country. We're going to fill you in on the very latest details that came in overnight.
President Joe Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy have reached what they call an agreement in principle to raise the U.S. debt ceiling and prevent what could be a catastrophic default. Negotiators are now working to finalize the bill, but here's what we know about it so far this morning. The Associated Press is reporting it is a 2-year debt limit increase, pushing it past the next presidential election. It keeps non-defense spending largely flat. The deal fully funds medical care for veterans, and it would increase some work requirements for the SNAP Nutritious Assistance Program, and it creates a single lead agency for environmental reviews in hopes of streamlining the process. What's not in this deal is Republicans' efforts to repeal President Biden's plan to waive thousands of dollars for people who took out student loans. Here's what McCarthy said about the deal.
After weeks of negotiations, we have come to an agreement in principle. We still have a lot of work to do, but I believe this is an agreement in principle that's worthy of the American people.
He says he and President Biden will speak again today. Both leaders will have to sell their deals to their parties. McCarthy hopes to vote on the bill in the House Wednesday and then send it to the Senate. Lawmakers have until June 5th to pass the bill. And joining me now is the Consul General of Israel to the southeastern United States, Anat Sultan Dadon. Good morning, and thank you for being here. I know you've been in touch with Georgia lawmakers and officials. Tell me, what are you hearing from them, and what have the discussions been like here?
Indeed. Good morning. Thank you for having me. It has been a very tough day. We are now into day 2 in Israel. One of the toughest in our history.
So LG Energy Solution and Hyundai are planning to build a $4.3 billion EV plant. It's in Bryan County.
So Senator John Ossoff announcing the deal last night, and he joins us now on Atlanta News First. Good morning to you, Senator. Great to have you with us.
Revere Brooks, good morning, and good morning to everybody out there. Happy Friday.
So we've got to know, this is major. What does it mean for the Peach State?
This is major. This is a great morning for Georgia.
It's game time on Sunday.
Super Bowl Sunday is here.
It is on fire. I can say Vegas is on fire.
The Kansas City Chiefs going for their 2nd title in a row.
1 is anybody can be 1 and done. I think 2 is special.
But not if the San Francisco 49ers have anything to say about it.
It's about executing. It's about the X's and O's and doing your job on Sunday.
Fans in Las Vegas and across the country are ready.
49ers all the way.
100%. The Chiefs are going to win.
It is game day. Allegiant Stadium is definitely going to be busy very soon. I'm surprised it's not already busy right now. I guess people still resting up
sure
right now.
It is. Look closely.
It is. If you just got to look, just look in there. This is a live look for you at the home of Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas, and we're going to be getting you ready all morning long for game day.
We are just hours away now from one of the biggest sporting events in the world. And while the Falcons aren't out in Vegas playing in the Super Bowl, Atlanta will have some representation.
Atlanta News First sports reporter Emily Gagnon is here with us this morning, giving us some unique angles leading up to tonight's big game.
Brooks, if we had a camera in some of those casinos.
Oh, yeah, you know it.
You already know. They'd be packed. All right, guys, there will be hundreds of cameras focused on the game tonight.
The whole team is here. Ella's here. Don's here. The sun is now here, guys.
All we need is a win. This is a family group shot. I love it.
Great job out there, by the way.
Be right now, but we're definitely going to be 2-0 by the end of the weekend right here at Truist Park.
Hi there. Good morning, Atlanta. So exciting. My name is Boop.
Boop. Boop. That's what.
Look, I came in costume.
Through the day today. Oh my gosh, is this not wonderful? Look, you're a star.
10:13 is the time on this Saturday morning. Let's take you live to the decorations at Stone Mountain Park, one of many places ready to welcome you as you get out and enjoy this beautiful weekend as we get closer to Halloween. Do you have your costume? You've got a few more days. And if you don't know what you're doing, we've got you covered this morning. This morning, we've got some great last-minute affordable ideas that we can all make at home.
All right, here you
what
go.
do you think?
You're gonna
what are
be
you going
that?
to wear to go over and do the forecast?
I'm going to wear the biggest thing I can see.
All right.
And this,
This is the point, right?
There
You're
you go.
supposed to be able to
There
put this
you
stuff
go.
on.
Have fun. There you go, Ronnie. There we go. There it is. There it is. And then you've got your crossing sign, so that way you can collect your candy.
There we go. Okay, this is the most important part.
Absolutely.
I'll do the first part of this with this thing on because I can't take it off, to be very honest with you. Mostly sunny skies in Marietta, 70 right now in Cobb County.